Hello and welcome. We are back today for a little bit more of the, the Bob Ross routine that we have started to, follow on this stream. It's a calming time. I've been very much enjoying it. So here we are once more, making some more art. I'm not sure if the stream will be very long today. I have a friend coming over with some painkillers, which is very good news for me. But, in that case, I will be back later. I do have the plan of, attempting to stream every day. I think I am capable of it. I do believe. Hello. How's it been? I haven't been here in a bit. I think my name also changed to a different username. The blue side of a moon. While I love your new username, I very much like the username. How's it been? Well, it's been okay. It's been up and down. At times it's been difficult, but I would say that generally I'm on an upwards motion towards better things and, all of that. What was your username before? I mean, you don't have to tell me. It's just, I'm wondering if, I'd probably recognize it. But yeah, hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, it's been going okay, Hello, Lior. How's it going? I've noticed that because I exist, I am... Just turn down that smooth jazz a bit. It was getting a bit rowdy. I've noticed that because now I'm, present on the screen and I'm back on Facecam, I can actually punch Jeff Bezos whenever I want. And I could put Elon Musk up there as well. So I just feel like this is a really interesting new development. The fact that I can punch billionaires whenever I want. I just, how have I never thought of doing this before, Like, whenever I want, I can just slap him. I can just go for it. Very cool. I know, right? Your name was Milo Haku previously. Ah, yes, I do remember. Well, I remember. So, welcome back, Blue Side of a Moon. Would you like me to call you Blue or Moon? As a shorter, Corv exists. I exist. I do. Hello. Only punching, but I'm hungry. I could try and... Hang on, I'd need to put Jeff in front of my face. I don't know. Look, I tried, okay? I tried to eat the billionaire. I tried. I really did. Tasty? No, disgusting. I don't recommend. What billionaire do you think tastes the best? Well, Jeff definitely tastes better than Elon. Elon, I don't recommend. If you have to go between Jeff and Elon, I definitely recommend Jeff. However, probably best to really douse him in some barbecue sauce. Yeah, right. Barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, whatever kind of condiment you prefer, is probably best to just really go for it because none of them taste good. But, you know, if you're going to go that route, I would recommend some kind of condiment. You know, if you're into sriracha sauce, you know, if you want something a little bit more spicy, you know, just douse it. Douse it all over it, you know. What about Gates? Oh, God. Well, Gates, I think you'd have to slow cook Gates for quite a while. Maybe saute some garlic. I don't know. You'd have to really tenderize that situation, I think, because otherwise it will just be really hard to, like, you know, get through it. You know, be a bit rough. You know? A bit hard to, like, you know what I mean. I'm a vegetarian. I've never eaten meat in my life. This is all just hypothetical, right? But I think Gates definitely very, very tough. A tough. You know, you'd have to really slow cook that for a very long time. Yeah. Ellie, it's okay. It's just a nightmare. It's okay. She's having a nightmare. Is rolling rich enough to eat? Yes, I would say so. You know, all of this talk, I'm realizing I'm gonna need some more, you know, emotes. I need an anti-rolling emote. I need an anti King Charles. Is that the new king or whatever? We could have an anti-king emote. Why not? I mean, Twitch still hasn't confirmed, you know, Twitch is still not allowing me to have my animated Jeff emote in chat. You see this beautiful art here, this beautiful thing. What are my arms doing? I don't know, autistic things. Rob made this amazing animated emote out of the emote of Jeff that I made, and Twitch is not allowing me to have it in chat. I keep uploading it and it keeps saying it's been submitted for review. And then it just disappears. So they keep refusing it, and then I keep re-uploading it. So so I don't know how that's gonna end. Like, I really want to have this animated Jeff. I would love to have this animated Jeff in chat, but Twitch is refusing, which is why I must try and get partners so that I have more leverage, so that I can tell Twitch that they're censoring me. It's just a joke. I mean, come on. It's just a joke, right? I'm just punching him in Minecraft. I mean, I'm just a video gamer. Like, my opinions don't mean anything. Come on, let me have my emotes. Come on. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit unfair to not let us have him. Hello, Rice NB. I don't think I got to see one of your art streams since pre-pandemic. Wow. Glad to see you do this again and that you're able to see. Well, I'm doing this again quite often at the moment. Yeah, I'm back. There are a few VODs on my channel as well of me doing some art if you want to catch up. And I want to be doing this, you know, theoretically I'd love to do it every day. So yeah, I mean, I'm really back, you know. I'm back. I'm slapping Jeff, you know. We're all, you know, we're doing things, you know. I am a video gamer, exactly. Let me have my animated anti-billionaire emotes. I mean, really, who am I? I don't know. Twitch is apparently scared of my power. I don't get it. I think they should let us have the emotes, you know. It just makes sense to me. There are so many people using Pepe the Frog emotes on Twitch, and I mean, those have quite, you know, questionable connotations, right? So why can't I have an animated Jeff? I don't know. As you can tell, I'm quite passionate about this, and I want this animated. I want him in my chat. You should make a channel point reward so we can make you punch Jeff. That's actually a really good idea. That's actually a really good idea. Hang on. Oh God, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm gonna write that down. Punch a billionaire. And then it could be, it could be the billionaire of choice. Like if you want me to punch Jeff, or I could punch Elon, I could punch JK Rowling, depending on what you're feeling like that day. You know? I don't know. That's a good idea, I think. Now, channel points, I must say I've got to I must I've got to get my act together, to be quite honest. I got to get my shit together as a streamer, and I've got to figure out how to do the channel points thing. You have too many points. You can spend your 40,000 points on making you punch billionaires all day. I can't believe some of you have like 40,000 points. That's just so ridiculous. Like, I will get to it. I promise. That's just so many points. I promise I'll get to it. Oops, what am I doing? I promise that I will. I'll set up those rewards, because that does sound like quite a fun time, to be honest. It does, doesn't it? You've got 24k. Oh my God, you've all got quite a lot of points to spend on making me punch billionaires. So, oh, that's brilliant actually, because I've got like it's not really a Steam Deck, but those kind of, it's a MIDI keyboard that I've I've used software to make it into a Steam Deck. So when I plug that in, I can press buttons on it, and it can bring up different elements when I press the buttons. And so what I could do is that I could assign different billionaires to different buttons on the thing, because there's quite a lot of buttons on it. And then when people donate and they're like, "Oh, I want you to punch JK Rowling," I could just, press the JK Rowling button. Boom, she pops up. Bam, I have a fight, and I always win. You've just got a Steam Deck. Wait, hang on, a Steam Deck? Okay, I was talking about a Stream Deck. Okay, sorry, yeah, it's a bit confusing. I was talking about a Stream Deck, which is like a box with buttons on it so that you can change scenes in OBS. But you've got a Steam Deck? One of those things by Steam? Unfortunately, you might get in trouble for that. Really? Why? I'm not doing anything. Really? You think? It's all fun and games. I'm just some random guy. You really think I'd get in trouble? That is confusing. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, crypto's over crypto. I mean, it is a good point. I am wondering how far I can push this before, I get in trouble. But I mean, technically, I don't know. I'm thinking about all the other streamers and that I've seen do things, and I feel like there are so many streamers that do so many worse things than that. Like, I'm thinking back to my days when I was getting into fights into fights on Twitter with debate bros, and they're always saying awful things. They're saying awful things on Twitter all the time, and just doing loads of screwed up things. So surely I should be able to simply slap a GIF. But I do agree. I will try and not get in trouble. It wouldn't be great, would it? But look at me. I mean, I could, if I do get in trouble, I could just be like, "Oh, but I'm just a bit silly, and come on, please be nice. Like, I'm in a wheelchair." I don't know. I'm sure we'd be able to get out of it, right? It's just a GIF, and it's just me going like this. I think we need to pause, rewind, Bob. I agree. Okay, cryptos over crypto. I am taking your concern into consideration here. And I will certainly be looking at the rules of the website and stuff. I think you should do it, but Twitch is annoying. Woo! Ah, look. Maybe I could just poke. Maybe I could just poke. You know, how about that? That's like less, you know, violent, right? Gently punch. I could softly, like a kind of like a, you know, like a little, whoop, you know, like a, you know, just something, you know, not too violent. Just a little tap. You know, little tap. It would be funny if you got banned for it. If I get banned for it, you bet I'm coming back to Twitter and I'm gonna make it a whole thing. If I get banned for it, I might actually get more viewers. So, you know, who's the real loser here, you know? I think it's Jeff Bezos. Anyway. I don't know. I'm just saying things. I mean, honestly, if Twitch comes to me, I could just say, look, I was really, really high on painkillers, legal painkillers. Like I've got really bad health problems. You know, sometimes my judgment isn't the best. I promise I will try and be better. I feel like that sounds pretty legit, you know? I could get a doctor's note or something, you know? You know what I mean? Raise your fist accidentally in their face. Yeah, true. Maybe the channel points could be raise your fist to J.K. Rowling, and I could just be like, whoops. Yeah. Animate a boxing glove. Oh God, yes. Just say it's cancel culture. Okay, that's actually pretty smart. I could tweet at J.K. Rowling, be like, Twitch is canceling me because I wanted to punch you. Can you help me out, JK? Anyway, right. What is... All of this is in Minecraft, by the way, Twitch mods, if you're watching, blah, blah, blah. You know, I've never punched anyone in my life. I have arthritis. It's never going to happen, okay? None of this is, you know... It's never going to happen, okay? I don't punch people. If I did, I'd hurt myself. So... The music is groovy. Why, thank you, June. Welcome back. If you would like the title of the album, it is Jazz Round Midnight. Jazz Round Midnight. You've talked about why you had a scar on your wrist and was in a bad place on Twitch. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, see, I've heard people talking on Twitch about things that, you know, were very, very, you know, let's just say, you know, quite, I don't know, I'm losing words here. You know, like, you know, kind of, you know. So I don't know. I don't feel like it's the worst, you know, what I'm saying. And, you know, the channel points idea, I don't know. I believe that we might be able to get away with it. I mean, they're not really giving me much choice because all I wanted was my animated emotes in chat and they're not letting me have them. So I'm going to have to find another way to entertain my viewers, you know. Okay, I know why we're having trouble. It's because I put playback speed on normal. It's way too fast. Wait, is that not a normal thing? What, to have animated emotes? Yes, it is. It's just that my animated emotes are Jeff Bezos spinning around with a band Jeff Bezos, and then I've got an Elon Musk one as well that I uploaded, and they just haven't been accepted by Twitch. Twitch keeps being like, nope, we reviewed these emotes, and you're allowed to have you know, the non-spinning Jeff Bezos, but you can't have the spinning one. It's too, you know, you might stir up revolutionary sentiment with the spinning one specifically, you know. Jeff disapproves. Put it on 1/10 speed. I mean, to be honest, you might be right. I hang on. I might actually put it at 0.25 because that's how slow I am. So what's this color then? It's like some kind of green, gray. Like, I don't know, something like that. I feel like that's kind of, maybe that's a bit dark actually. Like that. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. I don't know, Bob. I don't know where we're going, but I'm following you and I trust you, my man. I trust you. Okay, sorry. This is great. Okay, this is the speed for me. 0.25. Sorry to interrupt this wonderful convo on how we dislike Bezos, but I just got candy. It's one of your favorites. Nice. What kind of candy? Oh, candy's so good. I love the word candy as well. I mean, I grew up saying sweets because, you know, British and all that, but candy has a different kind of, I don't know, when I think of candy, it tastes better, you know, in my imagination. Candy tastes better, you know. Sweets are like those boiled sweets, whereas candy's like something special, you know. It's like, wow, what's this? I've never even seen this before. You know, this is amazing, you know. Whereas sweets is like, you know, those kind of boiled sweets. They're in the little like wrappers. Candy is a good word, isn't it? Speaking of debate, bros, a streamer I follow made video about Zanman and how Zanman made their girlfriend homeless, and now the debate bros are harassing him. Wait, the debate bros are harassing Zanman or the streamer you follow? Holy shit! What the hell? That's screwed up. Would I fight Bob Ross? No, Bob Ross would completely destroy me. I would never fight Bob Ross. It would just be a foolish endeavor to even attempt to fight Bob Ross. I think Bob Ross, I don't know if anyone could fight Bob Ross. You know, maybe there are a few people who could take on Bob Ross, but honestly, you'd probably be able to count them on one hand, you know. The streamers being harassed by debate bros? God damn. That's so screwed up, Cryptids over crypto. I must admit, I have not been following any Zanman adventures. Sounds like a TV show. I haven't been following any of that stuff in a very long time because I don't know. I've been trying to keep myself safe, relatively, because you know I did kind of go, you know, when I was back in the day when I used to, you know, go after people on Twitter all the time. I was kind of playing with fire a bit. Like I was going around kicking hornets' nests, just kind of like, yeah, screw you and fuck you. And, and honestly, like, I don't know. I got away with quite a lot considering how loud I was about people with very big followings, to be honest. But that is really screwed up what you're saying about his girlfriend. And Jesus, I hope she has some kind of support from, I mean, I don't know, perhaps part of his community has sided with her, I would hope. That's really screwed up. That's awful, really. Really awful. Bob Ross. You met Bob Ross at convention. He was doing art for charity. He did the convention for free. He even paid for his own room. Bob Ross. I love you, Bob Ross. Evil Nala, whose girlfriend? Oh, God. Well, let's just say there's no real point in even trying to understand the whole situation, to be honest. If you don't know about these people, it's best to not know about them because they're not great. They're not great people. You don't know who he is? Great. It's very, very good news for you. Don't bother. You were trying to look. I was trying to look back at Hassan stuff, and you found out that a lot of people hated me before. Lol. Yes, yes. See, the thing is that the Hassan stuff. When Hassan retweeted me, you know, bashing me and saying that you know people like me are the problem with the left or whatever. A lot of people already disliked me from Zanderman's community and Vush's community. I'm saying their names wrong purposefully here. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like me already because of the criticisms that I've had of, you know, quite big content creators. And so when that happened, a lot of people just were like, finally, this is it. This is it. We can finally get this fucker. We can get him. Finally, we can get korviday off of the internet. And I think that's why a lot of people, yeah. But I mean, a lot of people who came after me also had never heard of me before. So it was kind of a mix. It was a mix of people who already hated me and people who had never heard of me before, but who were introduced to my profile through the ordinary gamer retweeting Hassan's tweet. And so like the whole gamer side of the internet, you know, seeing my profile with trans in bio, you could imagine the kind of words that were thrown at me. Starting with P and ended with file, which is just, you know, it was a rude awakening for me, you know, when it comes to how vulnerable transgender people are online when they want to be outspoken and speak out against things but also be out as trans people. Like it was a bit of a slap in the face, a wake up call, let's just say, when it comes to online safety and how I should be taking my own online safety maybe a little bit more seriously instead of just going around kicking hornets' nests. Getting my flamethrower out and like, you know, like it kind of made me realize that I needed to, you know, think carefully about this all because, I mean, these people in the large scheme and frame of things aren't really. They shouldn't really be my priority, right? My priority should be making content that is much more relatable to, you know, to larger amounts of people, and these people just aren't relevant like in the larger world view of things, right? It's just I got caught up in all of this internet stuff and you know. Vush called me a crybaby. Oh, of course he did. He said he didn't have any sympathy for you and assumed you were just exaggerating the harassment. Well, of course he would say that. He's a liar and a hack. He lies about everything. He's lied so many times. You know, it's just, you know, you can just presume that he's lying most of the time. And his interests are completely self-involved. He only cares about his own brand and, you know, his own community upholding him as the, you know, supreme overlord of whatever the fuck. So, anyway. If you could, what kind of vids would you create, or would you choose not to do it whatsoever? If I could go back to creating videos right now without having any pain in my hands and, like, you know, completely freely, I really want to make a video about well, I had an idea for a video actually called Touching Grass, which is kind of funny because, I mean, when I got harassed off the internet back then, a lot of people were saying, you know, touch grass, go outside and stuff. And I had an idea for a video called Touching Grass, Losing Mobility and Ability Under Capitalism, about my experience, you know, as a 20-something-year-old, becoming progressively more and more disabled under capitalism, and, you know, how, what's, you know, kind of just like, just to document it, kind of, I suppose, to document my experience of it. So that is something that I would really love to make. And what else would I like to make? Well, I would definitely like to make some more satirical music about billionaires. You know, I would like to make something about Elon Musk. I definitely haven't gone after him hard enough on my YouTube channel. I mean, I never have. I would I think at the moment you're better off doing your own thing. I agree, Josh B. I'm going to do my own thing and just casually reference the harassment and what happened on stream, for example, because I feel like I should be allowed to talk about what happened because it did happen and people witnessed it. And, like, even if I never make a video about it, like calling him out or whatever, like with receipts or whatever, like I'm not going to do that because it would just be dangerous for me. I still want to be able to ramble about it on stream, you know? I think here I feel safe enough to do that. On YouTube, however, yeah, I would love to make a video about my dog or dogs in general, or, well, more specifically kind of animals. And, you know, how important my dog has been to me in my life, and how important animals have been in my politics, to be honest, in shaping my my vision of the world. You know, like when I was 7 or 8, or even younger, actually, I was a really weird kid. I mean, to be fair, I was a really cynical, strange child. I have a lot more hope now, but I was already very, you know, anti-system as a kid. Like, I hated the way that everything was working. I'm not sure if I had the words to put onto capitalism at the time, but I think I did, actually, because as a 6 or 7-year-old, this is the kind of child I was, I would go online and I would watch horrific footage of slaughterhouses and how meat was made and how food was made. And I would watch awful things, like just really awful. And then I would use that to you know, inform my view of the world and my politics, I suppose. And yeah, I don't know why I did that to myself back then. I mean, I guess it's because when you're a child, you're so curious about the world, and that extends to morbid things, right? And food, I don't know, food is just such a, you know, it's just such a integral part of existence. And that was kind of my, one of the starting points of my political journey was doing that. Stream is safer because the only people who are going to hear this are people who like you. Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. It's a lot harder to hate watch hours of Twitch. Exactly. I'm gonna yeah, I'm going to be a lot more careful when it comes to that for sure. I'm going to give up meat at some point. I don't want to eat lamb or chicks anymore. But yeah, I mean, when I'm saying this, I'm not someone who shames people for eating meat, because I think it's kind of like it's just counterproductive to do so. Like, I know that some vegetarians and vegans do that, and I just find it to be a very silly idea, because guilt tripping people, in my experience, does not work at all. So, you know, it's not, it's not so much consuming meat that's the issue. The issue is capitalism and the overconsumption and overproduction and the food waste and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We could, debate about the morals of consuming flesh. That's a completely different conversation, in my opinion. I'm an anti-capitalist above all. I would say so. So maybe just the realizations that you came across this past year in the form of song analysis and video essays. Yeah, June, that's a good way to put it. I would love to do that. I'd love to do some more, perhaps some more media analysis of like a movie or a show or something like that. There are a lot of scripts from back in the day that I never got around to recording. A lot of videos that I never got around to making. So yeah, it's kind of overwhelming to even think about it. There are so many things I'd love to do when it comes to YouTube, and it makes me quite sad, that I haven't been able to upload anything there in a while. I really want to come back and do so. I think streaming's, helping me edge towards doing that, Hi, hello, howdy, Spec. I will admit that capitalism has a few flaws. Yeah, a few, yeah. The hardest thing I did was I stopped eating meat last December, and it was hard in itself. My family and friends were kind of tempting me, which made it near impossible. Remember, my parents tried to eat it in front of me, and my uncle even tried to mix in my food. Friends would invite me to parties where I just drink soft drinks because all the rest is meat. See, that's the thing, June. That's why I think that guilt tripping individuals is not really productive in any way whatsoever, shape or form, because, some people exist in spaces that don't really permit them to have to be 100% vegan or vegetarian. I personally think that, a lot of people are, who are vegan or vegetarian are very all or nothing when it comes to it. They're like, okay, you either eat meat or you don't. You're with us or you're against. And I'm just like, well, how about we have a bit more of a nuanced approach to this, and we think about meat as a luxury thing that we should honor and respect. And I say this as someone who doesn't even eat meat, right? But I think that we should respect it far more than we do, reduce our consumption of it, and only eat it, maybe a little bit, less often, and have more respect for the animal and the life that was given in order to provide the meal. And if we ate meat less often, we wouldn't have to produce so much of it. If we didn't have to produce so much of it, we would be able to produce meat in much better conditions. There's kind of like a domino effect there. You know what I mean? You weren't shoving it into anyone's face. You're just trying to do something. I know, it's awful, isn't it? I do understand. I understand how it feels, because I was, when I arrived in France as a kid, I was already a vegetarian, not a vegan. I've always eaten eggs and, stuff like. I mean, I would quite like to be vegan. I mean, for now, it's just far too expensive because of how groceries are just really inaccessible to me for now. But anyway, and I remember people would just be very rude about it, even though I was kind of sticking to myself, as a kid, and people would wave their ham sandwiches in front of my face, like, "Oh, don't you think it looks tasty?" And I'm just like, "Can you not?" And that kind of pushed me into being a bit of a radical vegetarian when I was around 12 or 13. I got quite mad about it for a few years. And I've calmed down a lot since then. I don't like the all or nothing approach. I think it's much more interesting to talk about reducing our consumption as a society and as a planet, because it's your personal decision, ethically and morally, to stop consuming all meat. That's just fine. You can do that, whatever. The thing is that as much as many vegetarians and vegans would love to wish that it would be the case, we're never going to convince the whole world to stop eating meat completely. It's not ever going to happen, okay? I mean, maybe in like 1,000 years or something, but no, that's not, I don't really think that's the best way to go about it right now. I think it would be best to have a bit of a more nuanced approach and talk about a massive reduction in the consumption and an honoring of meat and a respect of meat, getting back to some kind of respect of the animal that has been lost because of capitalists production and how alienated everyone is, how separated we are from the steps in food production. Like a lot of people don't even think about the fact that what they're eating used to be alive because there is no connection to how it was produced, you know? You know what I mean? Killing a sentient being that doesn't want to die just occasionally, though. I mean, Rob, I get your opinion. I get your take. I really do. I mean, I'm the last person, to want to eat meat. But on a practical level and on a global level, and in the interest of preserving the environment and reducing the impact of climate change, I'm just not totally convinced that we're going to be able to persuade the whole planet to go vegetarian or vegan. And I say this as someone who's been vegetarian for a very, very long time and who has had a lot of conversations with a lot of people about it. I think, I don't know. Eat android meat. Android meat. What's that? I bet it's crunchy. There's especially a consideration that there's a lot of historical culture in animal rearing and meat consumption as well, although a lot of it has been overshadowed by the white supremacist and capitalist culture of mass consumption. Right, Spec, exactly. I'm sure that we can find a balance, right? There must be some kind of middle place between, eating meat every day for every meal and, the current situation when it comes to slaughterhouses and the mass production of meat, especially beef. When you look at the environmental impact of beef production, it is just ridiculous. If I could just get people to stop eating so much beef, if we could just reduce our beef consumption by 80% and, people can eat chicken or whatever, I don't know. I mean, it would, yeah, it would, it would have a big impact environmentally. It really would. You know? think that saying the blanket term killing animals is bad ignores the way that indigenous people have lived for many years. I mean, yeah, exactly. That's another argument, right? And that's why I'm not, I'm not really one of those, I keep that kind of opinion to myself because that's my decision ethically and morally as a human being, is my, I'm not here to force that kind of deep ethical idea onto others. However, the ideas that I do want to try and, well, not force, I mean, persuade other people of, is, let's reduce our consumption massively because holy shit, it has a massive effect on the environment. And that is just you cannot question that, you can't question that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And, when I say going, finding a healthy middle with meat consumption where we respect the meat, we get back to respecting the meat and respecting the animal that supplied the meat. I think there's a lot to learn from indigenous cultures about how they, went about that kind of, practice. I mean, obviously, I mean, I'm saying all of this, but I've never eaten meat myself. But I'm just, I'm just sharing my own thoughts, I suppose, on what I've noticed in my conversations with people. I'm not sure if it's really going to be possible to convince the entire planet to stop eating meat, I just don't know if it's a really realistic goal to have, I understand wanting to have that goal, but it's just not, I don't think, I that's why I personally take this approach of well, I generally try and put the focus in, when I talk about it, I try and put the focus on the environmental impact instead of like the moral implication of eating a living being. Because I mean, even though I personally do have a lot of opinions about the moral implication of eating a living being, in my experience and all the conversations I've had, when I've tried to use that as an argument, it just doesn't really seem to work. you know? Yeah, that's the thing is, like, you can have your own opinions and, very, how am I so, it's because I'm talking. I mean, Bob Ross is speeding along even though he's only on 0.25 speed. We can gradually reduce demand as more people become vegan. Yeah, I mean, right. I think reducing demand and reducing production is the way forward. I don't think, 100% of the planet is going to go vegan or vegetarian. However, the more people reduce their consumption, either by going full vegan, full vegetarian, or just, eating meat once a week or something, the more this happens, the more the production will reduce and the lesser impact it will have on the environment, because that is the big issue. I mean, obviously, I have my personal opinions about the suffering and pain and ethics of it all, but I think generally when I talk about this, I tend to prioritize talking about the environmental impact just because I feel like it has more weight to a lot of people. I mean, we can debate about, whether that's a good thing or not, but I mean, it's just the case, Can I ask you a question about streaming, as in how you stream? Sure, go ahead. I am totally open to that. Please do. If every child saw the slaughterhouse footage you saw, they wouldn't grow up seeing animals as food. True. But, I have wondered, obviously it's very difficult to hypothesize about something that could never happen. But, if I had, grown up, if I had existed as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old child in a society that honored me as something, something to respect and something to be incredibly grateful for and humbled by, that an animal would give their life in order to supply protein for a family. If I had grown up in a society that wasn't capitalist or whatever, and where slaughterhouses didn't exist, and, there was a completely different approach, would I, there's a lot of what ifs, right? But anyway. The biggest issue with meat at the moment is, from what I understand, is beef. The production of beef is just, it has massive environmental impacts. Like when we compare it to like chicken or, other kinds of meat, if there's one that we need to tackle first, it is the beef. It's the cows that are really the ones that the production is doing the most damage. I don't want to blame the cows because it's not their fault. The farmers don't even feed the cows healthy food to begin with. Exactly. The meat that the meat that is produced by the capitalist slaughterhouses and system is not even good meat. It's not even, a lot of it, and a lot of it gets wasted because, a lot of, the thing is that when you keep animals in conditions like that, much more likely for diseases to break out. Well, you've only got to look at, the cases of mad cow disease, swine flu, what was the bird flu? I don't know. Like a lot of these diseases and pandemics have been directly linked to the meat industry. And that's something that a lot of people don't seem to want to talk about. You know what I mean? And, keeping animals in these kinds of conditions, it's very, very likely to fester disease and issues, Oh, you asked your question. I'm sorry, I missed it. So when you start a stream, do you make sure you sound good, like hearing yourself back, or have you done streaming long enough that you know that you sound fine? I don't hear myself back. I look at the levels of the mic. I have a noise reduction filter in OBS as well. And I also have a function on NVIDIA Broadcast, which is software that you can use when you have an NVIDIA graphics card, that also reduces noise. Admittedly, I have listened to myself back in that, yes. And then what I do is I generally, I listen back to the stream after I've streamed. And then I'm like, okay, so I feel like maybe my microphone was turned up a little bit too loud. So next time I will reduce the volume of the microphone a little bit because I was like a little bit saturated, and I'll reduce the compressor a bit, I'll kind of mess around a bit with the stuff. But most of the time I would say that I I listen back to myself after streaming, not before. I don't know if that helps you. I find it better to do it after, because if you do it before, it can delay it can delay you starting your stream and make you more stressed out about the stream. I always find that to be not a great thing. So I myself try and kind of chill out before the stream and not worry too much about the technical stuff. And then after the stream, I'll go back and listen to the first 20 minutes of my stream, and I'll think about, what's good, what's bad, and all that. I tried to stream the other day and fucked up because I accidentally caused an audio loop. Audio loops are honestly kind of the worst. They're very annoying to deal with indeed. Audio, I mean, to be fair, I've been messing around with audio for quite a long time now. So that's probably why I'm quite comfortable when it comes to, setting up the microphone and audio and everything. I was set to become a sound technician before my disability set in. And I realized that was not going to happen, because honestly, being a sound technician, that's a pretty damn demanding job physically. Some days you don't work, and then some days you just work for 19 hours straight. Up on your feet all day. You've got to lug around heavy things as well. And it's just, as soon as I started, being more and more disabled, I was just like, well, I suppose I won't be a sound technician for concerts. That's not going to happen. What's an animal you like? I like magpies. I like dogs. I like honestly, I like a lot of animals. I like cows, and cows are very cute. They're kind of like dogs but big. I like foxes. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like a lot of animals, to be honest. Being vegan is cheap. It can be hard and expensive, so exceptions can be made. Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, it can be cheap. Being vegan can be cheap. It can be a lot cheaper than eating meat. However, it does depend on your access to groceries and stuff, where you're situated, how normalized being vegetarian and vegan is in your country, and etc., etc., etc. But yeah, generally, reducing or removing meat from your diet is going to actually cost less generally. Although, depending on the situation, in my situation right now, because I can't go anywhere, I have to get my groceries delivered on Uber Eats. Ugh. And it's so ridiculous how expensive everything is. It is so ridiculous. And like, there are no budget shops like Lidl. Like, I used to go to Lidl all the time. It was so easy to eat vegan when I used to go to Lidl, you know, because like the almond milk was just so cheap. It was great. I love Lidl. What I really love is tofu. Tofu is just a great replacement for meat, and you know, it's just a great way to get protein into your food. And the texture, you know, if you're looking for that kind of meaty texture. What is my hair doing? Actually, you know, can I come clean about something? I washed my hair with dog shampoo yesterday because I don't have any human shampoo left. So I don't, maybe that's why it's doing weird things. I don't know if I don't. Ah, oh God. It also heavily depends on your ability to actually produce vegan meals for yourself and others. Where I live, there's no way to get pre-made or delivery vegan vegetarian foods, but even on the best days, I can't cook and clean for myself. Yeah, I mean, that's also a good point. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm not full vegan and why, you know, I still well, most of the time when I consume eggs and milk, it's not like I don't buy eggs and milk. It's more so I consume eggs and milk in ready-made meals that my friends bring me that they've bought with food stamps and stuff, you know? So, like, yeah. But I try and avoid it as much as possible, but, you know. I saw in one of your videos where you talked about being more confident and delivering more frequent content. How would you go about it practically, as in really aggressive or with sympathy and respect for the various other perspectives? Because I personally seem to get carried away sometimes and confuse people with ideas. Hmm. How, as in, I could dislike or hate an idea and yet be okay with an individual? How could I dislike and hate an idea and be okay with an individual? It's a really good point, actually. It's a really good question, June. And it's an issue that I myself kind of ran into when I was making content and wanting to be critical of other people. Um, yeah, I mean, you know, how much can you separate an individual from their ideas, you know? And, you know, how I think, you know, as surprising as it may seem, I think on YouTube, maybe I was a little bit soft sometimes, a little bit too soft on people, a little bit too soft with my delivery. I think I could have been a little bit more, you know, out there. Um, on Twitter, that's a different conversation. But on YouTube, I would like to be maybe a little bit more, you know, a little bit more steadfast in my ideas, and a little bit more rock solid, you know. I think I used to tone police myself quite a lot on YouTube. Dog shampoo. Korviday furry confirmed. You have a lovely glossy coat today. I'm happy that it doesn't look too bad. Um, you know, I was kind of worried about it because, you know, I was like, well, I've never used dog shampoo before. So this is a bit of an experiment. But it seems to turn out kind of okay. So, you know, Oh, okay. Wait, now I'm tempted to try dog shampoo out. I mean, if you have any at your place, why not? I don't know if I would recommend actually going to buy dog shampoo just to use it. But you do you, you know. Maybe I can start a new trend. Um, I'll continue washing my hair with dog shampoo this week, and I suppose you'll all be able to see the effects, over the week. Um, why do I admit to these things? I don't know. I don't know. Does it give you more volume? Well, I must say that I am quite impressed with the volume. Yes. Um, yeah, I would say that the volume has been pretty good. That's my current review of dog shampoo. Volume's pretty good. I haven't had any itchiness. It seems to be um, very gentle, which is probably to do with the fact that dogs have very sensitive skin and the pH of their skin is different to humans. And I know that human shampoo basically just like burns dogs. Like you cannot use human shampoo on dogs. So that's why I figured that like if human shampoo burns dogs, then dog shampoo must be really gentle. So maybe I can use dog shampoo. I don't know. Look, I on your way to the animal shop. The takeaway from the stream is reduce your meat consumption and use dog shampoo. My take of the day. Well, I hope everyone's doing okay today, and I hope, the stream's okay for everyone. I realize when we talk about this kind of topic, it can bring up some emotions, it can bring up disagreements between people, um, and I hope that people understand that, we're all here to learn from one another, I suppose. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. This sounds like the most ridiculous speech I've ever heard. I'll just stop now. You have friends and family that can sometimes disregard your doubts about bad mental health and suicidal thoughts as just a lack of meditation. Oh, and you feel like running away, but it's just you've got to think about it more. Maybe they're right, or maybe you're not communicating properly. Um, I'm not sure if suicidal thoughts can be put down to a lack of meditation. I mean, personally, when I have suicidal thoughts, it's down to a lack of medication. But woo, it kind of rhymes. I mean, I'm not saying that meditation can't help. It certainly can. But if you're dealing with suicidal thoughts regularly, I'm not sure if just meditation is going to suffice. You know, so I don't think you should blame yourself for you know, for that. I've dealt with suicidal thoughts quite a lot in my lifetime. One of the things that has helped me the most is, well, I have antidepressant medication I take, and my dog as well actually has helped me so much. Ever since I adopted my dog, you know, I've had hard times, you know, that's for sure. But, you know, I just feel so much more connected to the world. And you know, there's no way I could leave her behind. You know, she's my responsibility. She's like, wow, she's not my baby, but she's kind of my baby, you know? So that's certainly helped me a lot. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much for the subscription, Jace. Thank you for the super nice, relaxing streams of helping me to keep me sane in this capitalist dystopia. Thank you so much for the subscription. Thank you. What happens if you forget to take the antidepressants? Do you not feel like yourself? Oh my God. If I don't take my antidepressants, I just don't feel like there's any hope. I lose interest in doing things that I love doing. I can't see the beauty in the world. I cry a lot, and I feel like useless, and I feel like a burden, and I get all this, like, I get a lot of invasive thoughts in my head telling me that I'm useless and worthless and shit, basically. It's very yeah. It's not nice. It's not nice. Now, of course, you know, I say this, but it's best to, you know, antidepressants in some people can increase, because the thing is with antidepressants is that they can give you a lot of energy. You know, they're quite stimulating medication. They can give you quite a lot of energy. They make you like, woo, you know, kind of like, you know, I've got loads of energy. I want to do stuff. But the thing is that if you're suicidally depressed and you get prescribed antidepressants and your energy levels go up faster than your mood, that can be very dangerous, because then you can be in a situation where you are still suicidal and you're still very down mood wise, but you have a ton of energy. And that can be a very dangerous situation, as you can imagine, right? Because, you know, if someone's suicidal, but they have no energy and they stay in bed all day, there's less chances of them actually trying to carry out, you know, the act. Whereas if they have a lot of energy, that can be an issue. So that's why, you know, if you do start taking antidepressants, it is very good to have a trusted medical professional be following your mental state quite closely for, you know, the first few months at least, you know? You need therapy alongside medication. Therapy is hands down the number one thing. I mean, yeah, I mean, I would have to agree, but therapy is unfortunately not really affordable for quite a lot of people. And for me, at least, antidepressants have really, 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 really helped. Then again, I did have a few years of therapy, so. But you know, the chemical effect of antidepressants on my brain, it helps to remove some of the incredibly invasive negative thoughts that I have. But ideally, I would like to get back into therapy, you know, someday. Why do my mountains look like ass? I mean, I'm being hard on myself. They look fine. We'll get there. We'll get there. You're using Procreate? Yeah, I am. Yeah. You need to use blue. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I do need more blue. Yeah. Just imagining a mountain that looks like an ass now. Ass mountain. Ass mountain. Sorry. It's just like a brilliant name for a mountain, you know? You got prescribed cognitive behavioral therapy where they explained that your disability was a product of negative mindset and you needed to be more goal oriented. What the hell? You see, that's the thing. I mean, some therapists, like, what the hell? I mean, my old therapist, okay, admittedly, she did help me with quite a lot of things, okay? But at one point, she said that maybe my disability and my pain was psychosomatic and it would just go away with time. And at the time, I was like, wow, maybe she's right. But like, now I'm looking back at it, I'm just like, what a load of bullshit. You know? And at the time, it kind of gave me hope, I suppose. But hope that was very misplaced because, like, literally 5 months later, I was in a wheelchair. And I'm like, oh, psychosomatic, my ass mountain. He's using a paint knife. Why is there no Procreate paint knife? Um, um, Brush. Like it's kind of weird that there isn't, right? But then again, I have seen online that I can download Procreate like brushes. You can download them. So maybe I need to do some research and find Bob Ross Procreate brush pack. Maybe that exists because I found, Rob found a Disco Elysium brush pack. I haven't downloaded them yet because they actually do cost $10. And so I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't buy them because I need to pay rent. But I will do it. Yeah, after rent. This mountain painting is it's hard. Like this is the hardest one we've done. You know, mountain's kicking my ass. Ass mountain is kicking my ass. I'm adding blue. Uh, hey, that looks a bit better. We'll get somewhere, you know. It won't look exactly like his, but that's okay. I hope everyone's doing okay today. You know, I realize that sometimes we do talk about some quite, you know, intense stuff on this stream sometimes. You know, I do hope it's not too much, you know, for anyone. You know, please don't feel any pressure to, you know, what am I saying? Who knows? Yeah, therapy and medication is very scary, and the opinion that people have of it is very scary. There's a lot of stigma around it, which is part of the reason why I quite like to talk about, you know, my own experiences with therapy and medication. You know, I'm not currently in therapy because of financial reasons, but I do take antidepressants every day. And, you know, they're keeping my head above water. Let's just put it that way. It would be nice to have therapy as well, obviously. But the suicidal ideation that I used to wrestle with is being kept at bay. And that is just, you know, that is just quite lovely, really, to not have to deal with that. Good evening, Lance. Good evening. Farah trying to find a queer therapist because you can't take the humiliation of explaining your gender identity to another cishet therapist. Yeah, if you can find a queer therapist, very, very good idea indeed. Now, perhaps there might be some queer therapists who would do video consultations if you can't find one locally. But yeah, that could be a very, very good idea indeed, because when you go to therapy to talk about, your issues, you don't really want to have to explain the ABC of gender to someone that you're paying. Like, what? No, I'm sorry. If I have to explain gender to you, then you got to pay me. you know? It's accurate to call fascism a cult, right? Asking for research purposes. I would say it's kind of culty, but then again, I've never really been in a cult. But I would say it is kind of, it's got that vibe for sure. Do you still get to go to therapy and actually receive meds you need? Are you talking to me? If you're talking to me, I don't go to therapy because I don't have the money for it. Like so many people. So no therapy for me for now, but I did have therapy for a while when I was able to afford it. And that certainly did help me with a lot of processing a lot of stuff to do with my childhood and stuff like that. But I do have the medication that I need thanks to my friends, my dear friends that bring them to me, because I can't get to the pharmacy myself right now. But yes, thank heck that my friends are around to help me out with that, because I do love my antidepressants, I must say. Like, I know they're not the end all solution to everything, but for my brain specifically, the ones that I'm taking seem to be helping just a great deal when it comes to keeping hope in my life, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't solve all the issues, but it takes away this impending feeling of doom and dread and wanting to disappear and never return. It takes that away. So it doesn't take away the fear of the future. It doesn't take away how much I despise capitalism. It doesn't take away pain, but they've allowed me to experience other things than just suffering. I can appreciate painting again. I can listen to music again, and I can appreciate it. Like I feel things. I feel things when I listen to music, and I'd lost that for ages. Depression can really screw you over. It can take a lot of things away from you. But obviously, this is, this can be difficult, different for many people. I mean, a lot of people, and the issue is with antidepressants as well, is that the antidepressant that works for me might not work for you. And like, for example, I was on an antidepressant for a few years that kind of helped, but it also made me feel really sick and nauseous, and I just didn't want to take it, and blah, I didn't like it. And so I ended up switching to another one that I much prefer, but it can take quite a long time to find the right thing for you, you know? I hope it's okay for me to talk about this like so openly. I mean, I don't want it to come across as irresponsible or anything. You know, more so I just want to kind of I don't know, normalize it a bit, you know? There's nothing wrong with taking medication. But, you know, if you do decide to go down the route of trying medication, um, especially if it's the first time that you're going to do so, you know, antidepressants, then please do not do so alone. You must be, you know, monitored by a doctor quite closely for the first 4 or 5 months, I would say at least, to get the dosage right and to make sure that, as I said previously, your suicidal ideation, you know, if you are dealing with that, which is what I was dealing with and why I started taking antidepressants, they will make sure that that the suicidal ideation isn't actually getting bigger because of what I said about how antidepressants can kind of stimulate and energize the mind and the body, but sometimes the actual mood takes a little bit of a while to catch up to the energy levels, and that's why, you know, you know, there's quite a lot of that's why I like to issue a warning about antidepressants in this way, because I think there are quite a lot of cases of people who started taking antidepressants, and because they weren't being properly, you know, followed and monitored, would, you know, actually end up, yeah, Twitch. I'm Corviday's Twitch lawyer. I can prove you did nothing wrong. Thank you, Cryptids Over Crypto. I don't know how I always manage to talk about such things, you know? I guess it's just my life, you know? It's just my, you know, it's my daily life. My therapist is non-binary, which is great. They've never once mentioned anything about you being trans without you prompting it first, which is such a fucking breath of fresh air. Now that is a good therapist. Now that is absolutely great. I'm very, very happy for you, Spec. Surely there must be some kind of online resource, a list of queer friendly therapists who do online therapy sessions. There must be some kind of resource like that. I'll have to do some research because, you know, I would imagine there are so many queer people who want to access therapy but are just don't want to have to explain their gender to their therapist because Well, excuse me, I'm paying you to help me. You're not paying me to explain gender to you, you know? It's nice that you are so open. Thanks, Rob. I'm trying to find a healthy middle between being open, but also trying to keep this space somewhat. I don't want to, I don't want to make anyone feel worse than when they turned up, you know? I want people to leave the stream being like, damn, I'm even more depressed now. That would, it's not, that would be bad. I'm just going to check what time my friend's coming over with me medication. Very well. Looks like all is well. All is going well. I love how Jeff's face kind of looks like a record. Like, while we listen to smooth jazz, it's like his face is a vinyl. And sometimes I get kind of hypnotized by it. Just watching it spin to the smooth jazz. You have a new follower in your cult, a pig. I love pigs. I forgot to say that pigs are a great animal. I really like pigs. Rob, again with the 50. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Rob. You literally single-handedly. Hang on. This is for you, Rob. I'm gently caressing Jeff Bezos's face. Thank you so much, Rob, for being an amazing supporter and believing in me and helping me to survive such a ridiculously difficult year in terms of finances and paying rent. Thank you, honestly. I mean, I've thanked you so many times already. It probably sounds a bit ridiculous at this point, but thank you so much. And we're actually going to be doing a portrait soon that Rob has suggested. And that's going to be very fun. But once I get those Disco Elysium brushes. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you. I think that's pretty much my landlord defeated. you know? Like, if I'm 10 or 20 euros off, I know that my friends can help me cover the last few pennies or whatever. That's pretty much my rent covered, which is absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you. Truly. And this is why I want to come back to YouTube. I want to come back to YouTube and I want to make videos that surpass anything I've ever made before. Because, God damn it, people believe in me. And the amount that you all believe in me is rubbing off, and I'm starting to believe in myself. I'm starting to believe in myself. I refuse to let myself go down. I refuse to let myself waste away and shut myself in and, disconnect from the world and hide away. I do have a tendency to do that. And I'm not letting myself do that anymore. It's not happening. I refuse. I'm coming back. Nobody can stop me. I'm scared of most animals. I don't like being near them. I'm sorry to hear that, Vivian. Oh, June as well. I'm really scared of animals, but I feel one day I'll have an animal friend. I mean, to be fair, animals are quite freaky, They're like kids, but instead of hands, they got teeth. Wow, that's freaky as hell. That's kind of scary, I can sympathize, I can empathize. And I think that part of the reason I'm quite a good dog trainer and dog owner, dog owner, I don't really like the word owner, but like dog roommate, I suppose. Part of the reason I get on so well with dogs is because I recognize how dangerous they are. And I recognize, that they are basically like furry kids with teeth for hands. And I think that, that respect and that recognition of, what a dog is, has really helped me to have a much better connection with my dog and respect her and communicate better with her and make her a safe dog for everyone to be around. I know quite a few people who are a bit scared of dogs, and I've met quite a few people who are scared of dogs, and they've met my dog. And I'm happy to say that the people who aren't very dog oriented, who have met my dog, love my dog because she's just so polite. She is very, very, very polite. She's a very polite dog. And that's because I recognize that you must educate a dog to be polite because they are literally kids with teeth for hands. You can't just get a dog and just be like, oh, I have a dog now. Yay. No. You've got to have, an idea of what you've got to work on with the dog. You've got to try and make sure that the dog's interactions with other people don't scare people, right? You've got to think about that. You've been harmed by dogs and cats very frequently, even 3 times on your birthdays. I'm really sorry to hear that, June. Your fear of them is, don't feel too bad about being a bit freaked out because that sounds like a really freaky experience, It's very understandable that you would be freaked out. Small dogs acting like demon spawns. Oh, I've talked about this before. Small dogs, people let them get away with murder. People really, you know, just because they're small and they're cute, does not mean you can just let them do whatever the hell they want. And yet, it's the case, you know. Just the other day, I was rolling down the street with my dog, you know, going for a little roll with Ellie. And this chihuahua runs up to us out of nowhere, obviously no leash because, you know, people just, you know, oh, it's a small dog. Oh, well, it's just a small dog. Don't have to. Well, actually, you know, your small dog is running up to my dog, yapping with no leads. You know, imagine if my dog was surprised and, you know, Speck. Speck. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Hang on. I'm punching up for you, Speck. Oh, wait, hang on. Thank you. Thank you so much, Speck. My rent is officially 100% paid, and oh my God, that's even part of my electricity bill for, you know, because the electricity bill tends to drop about, new electricity bill dropped, I'm talking about like an album, around the 20th. So that's amazing. Thank you so much, Speck. Means an absolute ton. Thank you. Oh, wait. I got a hairbrush. I can slap him with a hairbrush. What else could I slap him with? Oh, wait, I've got like a little, I can spray him with a spray bottle. Oh wait, it's disappearing into the background. Damn it. I need more weapons. Oh, in Minecraft, Twitch mods, I didn't say that. Oh. Oh my God, it's funny getting back and seeing you touch Bezos. Yeah, every time I get a donation now, I'm just kind of, I'm going for it. I don't know. Get the machete out. I've been studying the blade just for you, Jeff. Jeff, I've been studying the blade. It's time for our fight, Jeff. I think dogs confuse me because I can't differentiate between them being excited or being hostile. Yes, I see what you mean. See, I would really like to make a video. I mean, I really want to make a video about my dog, and maybe in my video about my dog, I can talk about how I don't know. I want to talk about animals generally because I don't know. I love animals, and I think, you know, understanding what an animal means in certain positions, I'm quite good at it, you know, and it's something that I really like to talk about. But yeah, it can be very confusing when you can't differentiate between a dog being hostile or excited. It can be very confusing because, I mean, there is a lot of a crossover there, you know, between a dog looking excited and hostile. There can be, you know. And also, you know, approaching an animal with fear. If you're scared, animals can sense that. They can feel it. There's a very interesting show I quite like called It's Me or the Dog. I watched that before I adopted my dog. And it's about dog training. And it's called It's Me or the Dog. And in that show, I mean, she talks a lot about how to, you know, recognize different postures of animals and stuff. But yeah, I can imagine it's very freaky, you know. If you don't really understand how an animal feels, then of course you're going to be quite freaked out. I love the idea of Jeff getting sprayed in the face like a disobedient dog. Ah, oh my God. There's no bad dog, just bad owners. Yes, very, very true. And small dogs often have bad owners, you know, that install a lot of bad behavior in them. Which is why they become little devils, little bastards. Leftist cooks. I've never heard of, oh, hang on. Oh God, Bob is speeding away again. I'm so slow. Hang on. Let me just sticky notes. I'm gonna write that down because hang on. Leftist cooks. Leftist cooks. The leftist cooks. A dog wagging its tail doesn't always mean it's happy to see you. It depends on the speed, elevation, and direction of the wag. Very true. And it also depends on the ears. It depends on the eyes. It depends on the posture of the shoulders. It depends on the heckles. Like there's so much that goes into analyzing how a dog feels. It's not just the tail, you know, or the ears, you know, even though those are the two things that maybe people think of the most. It's also about the muscle, the tension of the muscle, you know, of the posture. Cats are so autistic. I love them. I like that take. I like that take. Yeah, it's very true. And you know what? I think, you know, you know, perhaps, you know, if you are quite afraid of dogs and you often find yourself quite afraid when you're, you know, near a dog because you don't understand what their body language is and everything, maybe watching one of those dog training shows from, you know, maybe that could, I don't know if that would help. You know what? I might do a stream just about dogs. Maybe I should do that. I should do a stream just about my dog and her body language and how I communicate with her. You know, she's on my bed right now. She's curled up on my bed, looking like a little donut. She's so cute. But a lot of people, you know, a lot of people are quite freaked out by my dog. You know, my dog, she is arguably perhaps a pit bull cross. Now, of course, the rescue place that's not what she was labeled as at the rescue place because pit bulls are actually not allowed in France. But I think she might be crossed with a pit bull. And a collie, like a border collie. So, you know, border collies are known for being a bit snappy, and pit bulls, you know, how people are scared of pit bulls. You know, she's got those pit bull ears a bit. And she's, you know, she's all black as well. So people get a bit freaked out because they can't really tell what kind of dog she is, especially, you know, in the street. You know, they just see the silhouette and they're like, oh, you know, bring back dog cam. Bring back dog cam. Does she have a white diamond on her chest? Yeah, she does. She has white on her chest, yeah. Hang on. Let me see if I can get dog cam set up. I might be able to set it up like right now. Live. Which, you know, it says a lot about how confident I am about my streaming abilities. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, so I've plugged in the dog cam. Let's see. Only if it doesn't stress her out. Oh, don't worry. She's not stressed out right now. She seems to be a lot less stressed out about me slapping mosquitoes now, which is really great. That's why I removed the dog cam for a bit, because, like, you know, she was, hang on, live dog. Oh, hang on. Oh, my friend is here. Dog cam will have to be for the stream when I get back. Did you hear my dog? That's my dog barking. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, j'arrive. Okay. Sorry everyone for the, I basically just like baited you by saying you get dog cam and I'm gonna have to leave for a bit. But I will be back in a bit and we will have dog cam when I'm back for sure. Did you hear my dog bark? That was her barking. She's so cute. She's so cute. She's so cute. Hang on. Hello. There she is. Here she is. The void dog. I hope you all caught the void dog there jumping up and having a bit of a cuddle. Okay, I will see you all in a bit. Please stay safe and hydrated and take care. Have a little snack. And I'll be back later for more painting and we'll have dog cam. So, yeah. Thank you all so much.